Hey everyone! Welcome back to some more Let's Play the Consuming Shadow. In the last episode, we started our attempt to rid? No, it's not present here. To prevent the arrival of one of the ancients. A god that isn't necessarily evil, but upon its arrival in our world would cause untold suffering and destruction. No, I guess it is evil by our purposes, by how we judge things, based on what we see going on around us and the people who are working for the Shadow or whatever it is called here, colloquially. To this end, we have been attempting to accumulate enough information about discovering who it is that's invading our world, because it's one of 3 different ancients, and assembling the spell required to put it to seal the entrance so it cannot get into our world. And we have discovered that it is Yushag. After I was really wrong early on and assumed that I knew that the rune was Ew without enough information, I'm pretty sure this is now correct. And if it's not, we'll discover that when I cast a spell. You get a rather unique ending if you do things wrong in that regard. I've gotten that ending, I believe, twice in this playlist. Anyway, we know who the invader is, or I am going with we know who the invader is. We have a decent amount of spells for them at the moment. And for the end spell, the ritual we need 2 more runes known. And we need these runes. We could get away with not knowing what the god's rune is if we knew the 3 specific runes, because the 4th rune, a rune in the banishment, is always the god's rune. To be banished, that may or may not be the one that you are casting the spell at. If, for example, we cast the spell and we use Barila's rune, well, we cast the banishment ritual. You only get 1 shot at it, and if it's not the right god, that could be very bad. Because then the rift opens and it steps through, if it was the invader. So anyway, right, we need 2 more runes. To that end, we need to find places controlled by the darkness, or the shadow. So let's go up to Law Hill. We're about to enter the 2/3 mark, 1/3 mark. We are not accepting messages from unknown numbers. Law Hill is not held by the Shadow's forces. Do we need to go in? How many? I'm looking at the wrong... Where's my bullets? Here we go. We could use more hollow points, but we will still be entering other locations held by the Shadow's forces. We could find them there, so we don't need to purchase anything. So let's leave Law Hill and go to Blessforth. We don't need any medical supplies, and our sanity is fine. Exhaustion is pulling at my eyelids to the point I can no longer ignore it. If I don't do something soon, I can't trust myself to drive safely. Nope, we're gonna pull over and nap. I pulled over to the hard shoulder, reclined to the seat back, and allowed myself to drift off. The fact that I was able to sleep under the circumstances is testament to how exhausted I must have been. I reluctantly forced myself awake after a handful of hours slipped by, my mind and body refreshed enough to continue. My dreams were surprisingly gentle. I suppose my life, now, is the true nightmare. Did we lose time? I wonder. The Shadow has a definite foothold in Oldmouth, and it's going to make its move soon. You don't have to help out, but these things escalate quickly. We're not accepting... Oh, we did lose several hours. Right, we're not accepting messages from the unknown numbers. Alright, let's enter Blessforth, then we'll see where Old Town is. Ever since I crossed the town limits, I have felt the sensation of being watched by black, unwelcoming eyes. I hear insectile skittering, echoing through the crooked streets and dense alleyways that could conceal no end of horrors. I was walking past a brick house when what I believe was the chimney crashed to the floor, mere yards behind me, and I glanced up in time to see something hop out of sight. I have resolved not to sleep here. After numerous failed attempts, I finally managed to catch one of the creatures and wound it. From there, it was just a matter of following a trail of foul-smelling ichor to the lair of the beast. It led me through a cluttered docklands I had not considered searching, and soon found disquieting traces of bodily fluids and torn clothing that grew denser and denser as I neared one of the larger warehouses. Find and clear out 3 rooms where minions of the shadow are congregating. These rooms are similar to the fights that we do, and then we get paid afterwards. There'll be 2 creatures in each of those rooms. Now that we have under 40 hours left, we start to encounter harder monsters, too. And more cultists. Cultists are not difficult. I wish I could alter... I guess we'll ramble on this really quick. I wish I could alter the game so that when you cast a spell, you had a limited time to get the spell off. Like, it wouldn't wait until you begin entering runes. Please don't be armor-piercing. Set of keys. I don't trust this room. There's an old cash box here, containing around 3 pounds in change. Who is here? The corpse is here. Boils coat their flesh, even the back of their throat, to the point that suffocation may have been the cause of death. Who is disease? Barila. Not the invading god. Ooh! Oh my goodness. I am glad we have that armor. This place is infested with creatures of the shadow. The only option is to find and exterminate however many of them remain. There's 2 more. God, we took a pounding there. In a pile of useless metal implements, I found a small tool that could function as a lockpick. Oh my goodness! We almost lost... What, we did lose a third of our life there. Come on now! I'm swinging at it. It should be dead. We have been gravely wounded and the bleeding won't stop. Without treatment, I fear it will only get worse. Alright, now we have to get to a hospital. That's a dot effect. That damages you over time. 3 usable 9mm bullets. We really need hollow point rounds. How did that fly bleed us? I'm not even gonna fight the things. We have to kill all 3 things in here. Alright then. Oh, really? The nest came back. You to death. Stop! Stop killing me. Another area is done. 6 pounds in jewelry recovered. 5 pounds in jewelry. Well, the good news, if we can make it to a hospital, we'll be able to afford the treatment. Another victim of the shadow. Once again, the same effect. Boils in the back of their throat. Bullets, standard 9mm. Alright, that's it. My recording device picked up the chanting of some kind of mantra intended to ward off evil. It was hard to make out, but the second part definitely sounded like Batai. That's it. And the music hasn't changed. There is something in this room. We want it, whatever it is. We're not being hunted. Snack food. Oh, okay. That will heal us a little bit. We can probably get over to a hospital now. For some reason, we found a perfectly functional lockpick. We lost all the sandy we picked up earlier, too, in the car. This is a tough one. happening there? What happened there? Why on earth did the game make me change ammo instead of swinging? No magic wand and wait over the town to remove the chain to the shadow, but with the infection-based species removed, it's certainly quieter. Make my way back to the car, hoping that what remnant of this town's population survives will get back on their feet. What is the hotkey to that? I can't change the hotkeys? It's right why were we changing ammo? I was not pressing Q or E, viewer. I was pressing the right mouse key. My right mouse button. Well, we're not going to make it if we don't heal. Ooh, there go all our healing supplies. So, Hesterport is safe. So we need to go there. Or we die from bleeding. The town is calm and peaceful, oblivious of the shadow. My heart feels pained and heavy as I'm confronted by what we stand to lose if I fail in my mission. Visit the hospital. I find a small walk-in clinic for homeless people that will treat me. A proper hospital would be unthinkable. Treat bleeding for 10. Refill the med kit for 15. We have 20 bucks left back to town. Let's see if there's hollow points here. After an hour, I found the following items on sale from individuals content not to ask questions. There are hollow point. They're 4 bucks each. We'll buy 2. Oh, and there's the item that prevents wounding. Ironic that's in the town where we got the healing from. Or, not ironic, but that's quite a coincidence. Alright, back to town. Ironic would be if they sell that here, but not healing. Right? Alright. Sumton next. Held by the shadow, we gotta go in. This could be the last part of the banishment ritual. While completely free of humans, this town is far from quiet. The very air is thick with otherworldly power, and the clouds spiral and churn towards the center of what can only be a big dimensional rift, deliberately opened and kept open. I should have cast a damaging spell. There are still people on this plane of existence misguided enough to want to summon otherworldly forces, and it's worth noting that this rift is a fraction of the size they will open for the Ancient, and it still reduces this place to a ghost town. Seeing the rift will mean getting close to it. I didn't expect finding its exact location to be much of an issue, considering that every corrupted cloud is pointing directly at it. It was a botanical garden that seems to have become rapidly overgrown, faster than natural growth would allow. From the vantage point, I can already see the rift, a point of light surrounded by trees. Now I just have to get there on foot. We have to find a ward that I think also protects that very thing. Oh, you're a big spitter. I found a discarded wallet containing £2 from the thing you just killed. Yes, it discarded after we killed it. There is some kind of survivalist cache here, getting 3 hollow point rounds. Perfect. All right. Some 9mm bullets. Guess we'll go back to those, since they're all-rounders. Literally. There's the seal we need to break, so that's you. That takes care of the seal. Only thing left to do is close the rift itself. Okay, so we want to go up. Hello, cultist. Wow, that's fast. Oh, right, you sometimes have creatures come out of you now. The walls of the cave were absolutely covered in the rune commonly pronounced Batai, each one daubed on in a chalky orange paint, by what I sincerely hope are human fingers. Batai is associated with the color orange. We did not know her color. Or Barila, not Barai. This is not the place. We see you floating rooms. There's nothing in there. Shim shim, shim shim. Another victim of the shadow. They lie curled up, so clutching at themselves as if something was eating away at them from the inside. Disease. No, this is you. The cultists here are casting red spells. So this is Cho. So pain is what that corpse indicates. That's also not the correct way. There's nothing there either. £3. Pounds is good. You're a spitter, and you got me. It would have been neat if the enemies you fought in these different areas were linked somehow to the god as well. The cultists are. But the other creatures, to my knowledge, are just randomly chosen. Like, the things we're fighting seem to spread disease. It'd be neat if they were only present if the god was a disease god. 2 usable 9mm rounds. We don't read them the corpse. We know the people here are in pain. £5 in jewelry. That's not the way we need to go. The place we need to be, the direction we need to go. 3 standard 9mm rounds. Okay, this is you, Kiz. No. It's Shim Kiz. Things come out of the portal, so you don't have too much time to let it do its portal-y thing. We're done! The syllable Ang had many uses in the language of the ancients, most notably as the first symbol of a notorious dispel, purported to be powerful enough to banish a god. That's it. Ooh, my goodness, even with 50% extra melee damage. Still takes a ton to kill those ceiling worm guys. That's their official name, if you didn't know. Come on, ceiling wormy guy. Get you in the butt. With the rift closed, the endless ringing buzz has been replaced by the deathly quiet of a deserted ghost town. Still, ghosts are preferable to what resided here when I first arrived. I hurry back to the car. We are done. We don't need to go to the next town. I don't care if it falls to the shadow. We're going to make the bigger decision and go right for Stonehenge, I think. Though I guess we can... if I go to Oldmouth, we have to go to Castleberry, Finzel, and then Stonehenge. I guess... I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. And I don't want to risk losing more sanity. We're opening all these texts. Here's 7 from our account. I don't want to know what you do with it. Just use it to stay alive. For us, please. Finzal. 100 miles away. My goodness, we're going super long distance. I'm forced to stop as I drive through a small hamlet by a barricade of people in the road. Men, women, and children standing unmoving in front of the car, hands joined, their eyes all blank and glassy. A case of mass possession, perhaps. But I do have to get past them somehow. Use a pentagram necklace. Recognizing the presence of the shadow, I take out my pentagram necklace and hold it aloft as I advance, checking generic wards. I feel some weak presence retreat, and the stricken people snap, blinking back into awareness. They are confused as to what happened, but grateful, and club together 36 pounds as payment for my service. More interestingly, though, they do also offer me a document that was left behind by a strange visitor, one that may have been involved in their misfortune. The spell Ukazang sometimes induces visions of things to come and the area around you. It can give you the edge you need in dangerous situations, but remember that some sights, when seen, cannot be unseen. We ignore this. Now, we're all done with you, Ministry of Occultism. That's them letting us know that the other place fell. This is not a friendly town. We don't need to stop in it, though. We're not going to. Let me look at this one more time. We know the banishment ritual. We know the banishment ritual. And we believe the invader is Yushag, who has the Kiz rune. Okay, I was about to say, was Kiz just a guess? Kiz is supposed to be the color purple, which is Yushag, who is the invader we're going with. Okay, let's do it. Nope. Sorry, Occult Ministry. We are done. Lots of text from them. Let's enter the town. Right? We could take the drugs to prevent us from losing our minds, but I'll try this without using the drugs and see how well we do. Let's do it. In the center of Stonehenge, the ground has been torn up, and an eerily lit entrance leads into some kind of tunnel network. I don't know if it's unthinkably ancient or recently built, but either way, the shadow is not even trying to conceal it. This close to the deadline, it must feel assured of victory. This will either be the place where it will finally be vanquished, or a fitting tomb for myself. I must be sure that I have all the runes in the order they must be cast for the ritual, or at the very least enough information to confidently guess. I'd have enough information to confidently guess. Now's the only time I tend to use spells in this place. And we're going to use Clairvoyance to start. So that would be Ukazang. 235. Something invaded my head, scratching at the inside of my skull. I experienced a vision of things to come that left me with a keen awareness of the surrounding area. Here's where all the items could possibly be. The reds, the places where the creature, the shadow, the thing we need to go to could possibly be. And this is the first times I've seen, like, we actually have to go long distance to potentially reach our destination here. I like it. This will not be easy, I think. We could benefit from keys, but we do... Come on, silly wormy thing. 3 9mm rounds. More 9mm rounds. We did not need those. We didn't need any of the ones that we found. We just found 5. We could avoid combat and just sprint to the end. Don't be afraid of the dark, little ones. Speak aloud these words, and the shadows will be lifted from your eyes. Kizshim. Oh, we have to deal with the cultist. Uh-oh. Wow, that was fast. Why is he purple? Oh, purple. Right, purple is correct. That's Yushag. That's Yushag. $2. That doesn't... We don't really need money at this moment. We could leave, but you take a sanity hit upon leaving, I believe. We will use keys and see if this is the right place. Nope. Okay. Giant enemies like that, that's a dead-end room. Interestingly, the name Yushag, as well as associated symbol, was only ever inscribed in purple pigment. To do so otherwise considered ultimate blasphemy. Everything in here will be the invading gods' colors and what have you. So this is yet more proof that Yushag is the invading god. Take it. £6. We don't need money. The name Sho often appears in relation to physical suffering. Early Christians claim it was a word uttered by Christ on the cross, but it also appears in the language of the pre-Roman Celtic tribes to identify some kind of pain avatar spirit. I can tell you that early Christians did not say this. I wasn't around back then, but I'm pretty sure that that's not that. Well, unless is it a let's not admit how little I know. We found the key ring. We need to go to the south red spot first. Interestingly, the name Baryla, as well as the associated symbol, is only ever ascribed in orange pigment. Yeah, we knew that as well. This is it. Alright. There's a corpse here. Something must have torn their bowels and lower torso apart in a state of animalistic frenzy. So lust is its aspect. Alright, viewer, here we go. There was one time I accidentally hit the wrong rune at the at the end. So I'm gonna quickly check this. Alright, so the god's rune is U. No, it's Kiz. Oh my goodness. I have no pen or paper here. Alright, whatever. We're just gonna have to try to remember it. Let's bring up our spells. Kiz, Tim. Kiz is the final god's name. It's 5143. 5143. Just to double check, Yushag is the invader. Okay. And it's Kiz. Okay. 5143. We did it. The god brings us into its realm. Ooh, mistimed that. That's gonna be bad. Those anchors let it pull itself towards us. That's what we don't want to have happen. Alright, this is the bashment ritual again. 5143. The next thing I remember is lying in the grass near Stonehenge, being woken by the dawn chorus. The tunnel entrance was no longer there. The ground seemed undisturbed, and yet my hands were caked with mud and earth. No one seems to remember anything that happened. The shadow that hung over the land has vanished like smoke, as have the creatures it brought. The world sleeps now, wounded but fitfully, and no one will ever know how narrowly we escaped, or who they have to thank. I'm already starting to wonder if any of it ever was truly real, but at least I'm finally at peace. This one will open. Good work, soldier. Whenever it's convenient, report in at the ministry. I might have a little job for you. How'd we do? Report card time. Oh, after we get to see the developers. Developed by Ben Yahtzee Croshaw. Producer? I can't pronounce Ramin Darabiha. I know I got that wrong. Music by Mark Hadley. And the testers. Mark Hadley, Nursa Ketene, Ronald Manock, Gabriel Morton, Nicolina Smalling, Robin Squire, Catherine Stuber, Pasi Tuneman, Alex Wilson. Developed in Game Maker Studio. The Consuming Shadow is Ben Crosby, Croshaw 2015. Is it him? Oh, copyrighted by him. Well, thank you, Ben. It's fun to do this again. We survived. We need an unbelievable amount of points to get another birth star. I don't care. I like playing the Scholar. I don't do this for birth stars anymore, though they certainly are helpful. An A! Not bad. I think, is that the best you can do, or is an S the best you can do? Successfully banished the Ancient with 28 hours remaining, and managed to escape with body and mind intact. Discovered all 4 runes master ritual, and only allowed a single town to fall to the shadow after beginning their mission. Tended to favor close combat, exterminating 87 enemies minions with melee attacks. Learned 6 spells and made use of them 1 time. In the end, subject was a physically exhausted, burdened, heavily armed detective. Alright guys, I'm gonna go check out the recording, and assuming we've been playing for less than about an hour, we'll be back to start the next one. So, give me a second. Alright everyone, let's go ahead and start up the second run. A shadow is trying to enter our world. One of the ancients. The rooms confirm it. I don't know which one. All I know is that they arrive at Stonehenge 3 days from now. I know what I must do. Explore places touched by the ancients, assembling clues to piece together the banishment ritual and the identity of the invading god. But I'm not sure how I know this. I have the strangest feeling that it might be because I've already done it. Alright, let's see what stars we get this time. Oh wow, we have 3 close together. Not quite 4 that we had last time. This is still very good. So, we put a star in the center of each of these, because we can. And what is this? We have Research, Random Equipment Chance. That must be the Smith. I very rarely have seen this. And the Crab is Extra Health. Oh, what do we have over here? Car Speed in the Chariot. And the Lion gives us Sanity. And we have the Magician over here. Alright. I do this because I feel a little guilty just always, like, if I choose a spot and just go click, 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 to grab the same thing repeatedly, as it were, like in between getting a hybrid bonus over and over and over again, which I feel will be stronger than this. But I like, since we do get 8 birth stars, I figured I'd make it a little less strong. Not that I feel they do too much for you, but still they are very useful. We're going to grab 4 and 16 speed. And then we'll grab... Where's the health? Health and equipment chance is what I want. We can't get 4%. We can get 4%. Let's do... I want 4% equipment chance. Okay, let's do this. Alright. There we go. A lot more sanity, a lot more health. A slightly faster car than normal. A chance to get extra spells, and a good chance to get extra equipment, with extra research too. Research isn't really going to help us anymore. We've already researched all the creatures to their fullest. Except for the, like, hunters and stuff like that, and I don't fight those, I just run. So to my knowledge, we don't ever benefit from extra research, because I think you have to defeat them in order to actually gain that research knowledge. Maybe we could try fighting a hunter, but that usually goes poorly, and I don't know how to kill some of them. You've received a text from the Ministry of Occultism. Cursed towns are the best place to find what you're looking for. You might make some immediate headway if you went to Waterport. Well then, let's go to Waterport, which is right next to us. Another text from the Ministry of Occultism. The Shadow has a definite foothold in Dinmouth, and it's going to make its move soon. Don't expect a warm welcome there if you let this slide. Well, first, let's investigate what the Shadow's up to here. Reports have reached me of mysterious pests rising up from the ground at numerous places. They attack randomly, killing cats, stealing food, and injuring people. It is clear that this is only the beginning of something terrible. It starts with petty nuances, killing pets and ruining crops, and sooner or later it escalates to missing people being found half devoured. The solution is to wipe this out now, before it gains any more footholds. I uncovered word of some kind of domestic terrorist in prison for sending illicit materials through the mail, and these materials apparently differed greatly from the traditional anthrax or letter bomb. All these special packages were destroyed except one, which was misaddressed and returned to parcel storage. Shortly afterwards, the infestation began. The post office storage building is, I think, the next place to look. A single nest, alright. Place probably looks like an Amazon warehouse, doesn't it, with all of this? Oh, hello, a rune. What is this? The BTI rune has been inscribed on the wall here in yellow, upside down. This means it's intended as a curse to the god that associates with the rune. We might be able to make... So first off, that tells us that BTI is present, and we know it's not yellow, but yellow is a god that is not associated with that rune. So we can do this at the moment, I think. Is there any reason to go? Oh, there is an exit. Another such rune. A very old 9mm ammunition box with 3 bullets. Doesn't matter. We already have max ammo for it. Is there anything in that room? Oh, that's where we need to go. That's the end room. Well, let's just do it while we're here. Oops, took some damage. 3 pounds. We need to get this away from the nest. Silly, wormy, crawly thing. Nyx is not the god attempting to invade. I know you're reading this, scholar. Your actions will have further-reaching consequences than you could possibly imagine. Nyx is not the invading god. Alright, we'll just leave that there at the moment. There's nothing of importance left to do in this place. The longer I stay, the more time I lose. I doubt we'd have a hunter... Yeah, return to the car. So it doesn't say escape. This also means that I could hit escape and just say escape dungeon, in which case our character walks out, suffers no more life or sanity loss, for example, or rather we sneak out off screen, but we lose an hour's worth of time. I don't choose this normally, at least especially not so early in the game, where I'm counting on my abilities, which, as we all know, are rather lackluster, to carry the day and win, because I can win these early combats, I'm hoping. We do still want to explore all of this. 2 armor-piercing rounds. The Ang rune has been inscribed on the wall here in yellow. A generic prayer to a god, not necessarily the god perverting this place. It could be intended for an associate deity. Okay, so we know that Aang is present somewhere. That was a mistake. Tim shouldn't have walked all the way over there. Okay, we weren't punished for it. Interestingly, I did not realize that we don't lose sanity when the little spider creatures hit us. I guess this only happens when larger creatures do. The creatures still infest every crack and shadow of the town, but I have ensured they will no longer breed. A combined effort by the locals will be enough to exterminate the remainder. I can move on now. Well, no reason not to heal. You don't tend to find things like chocolate bars that restore your life unless your life is lowish. Like, you gotta take in at least, I think, 20% life damage for them to show up. Or at least, I don't remember ever finding something of that sort when my life was very high or at full life. In other words, use the med kit when you get back to the car. Unless you want to risk that for some reason. Getting a chocolate bar without spending money to replenish that med kit, but I don't know why you would do that. I guess you could be doing a no med kit run. I don't know if you get anything special at the end of it for doing so. Alms Hill is not held by creatures of the shadow. We only have 5 hours to get to Dinmouth, so we can't stop by here and get supplies. We need to get to Dinmouth immediately. Another text in Mystery of Occultism. Special ammo is more expensive, but worth it. Hollow points do more damage. Armor-piercing shots damage multiple targets. Oh, that's what the difference is, huh? I will try to remember that. I stopped to enter a corner shop that didn't look abandoned and was confronted by an armed man in hastily assembled survival gear, demanding money from a terrified cashier. He attempts to simultaneously cover both me and the cashier with his gun, flicking his aim left and right, his eyes wide and nervous. Grab the gun! I time my moment, and just as the gunman takes his eyes off me, I make a grab for his arm. I simply push the gun away, but his grip is fierce. We struggle for a moment until he shoves me back against the counter. I generally think he's about to pull the trigger, but something flickers in his eyes and he darts out of the shop. Perhaps he was confronted by what he was about to become. In any case, the cashier thanks me for my bravery and insists on rewarding me with 18 pounds from the till. Wow! I think I almost always just try to talk that guy around. We've arrived in Burton. It's held by the Shadow. We can get to Dinmouth in 3 hours, even if we do Burton. So let's enter the town. I feel a crackling in the depths of my inner ears, and the backs of my palms are itching. This can only mean one thing. Magic. It must have leaked through in great amounts from the outlying realms. Magic bleeds through into our realm through rifts, and the concentration of it here means there must be one nearby. If I find it, then I can use the same magic it spews to seal it closed. Isolating the rough location of the rift was the easy part. Just isolate the strands of magical energy, the appearances of otherworldly creatures, then triangulate the point they are all moving away from. A simple set of divinations leads me to a warehouse behind a large supermarket. I can only speculate as to who opened a rift there, but disgruntled workers seem as good an explanation as any. No matter. It just needs to be sealed. Maybe something happened when these people sent that package back to the other town. Or the person who is here, or over there, worked for this place. Tried to sneak in something from the Shadow. There was a discarded breathing mask inside, which I decided I could make use of. Alright, no reason not to equip it. Has toxic damage. These are things that, like, the spitting or the coughing creatures do. We found a lockpick. Swing, please. Swing, please. Why weren't you swinging? Just standing right there. As I hit the right mouse button over and over again. Someone left their key ring here. Okay. I generally go for the locked rooms last. This is because if we have a hunter show up, it becomes a great deal more difficult to explore the remainder of the location. Another victim of the shadow. They lie curled up, so clutching at themselves as if something was eating away at them from inside. We learned this is pain. So pain is present somewhere. That's the actual gate. We can't... I hate you. For some reason, a functional lockpick was lying on the ground after we killed the creature. I don't know why it had a lockpick. Maybe we pried one of the spikes off of it. Three 9mm rounds. Oh, there's no seal here this time. In a pile of useless metal implements, I found a tool I could use as a lockpick. I thought there'd be a seal here. What's our objective? Find a dimensional rift and see what thing can't. Okay, there's no seal guarding this one. Oh, wow, Tim, you don't have any plus melee damage. Okay, that's Ooang. The syllable Oo had many uses in the language of the ancients, most notably as the first symbol of a notorious dispel, purported to be powerful enough to banish a god. Okay, let's go. Uh-oh. This is the suitcase dude. We're just gonna run for the exit. I'll take a hit of my sanity. Suitcase dude? It's the guy with the hat and a overcoat. I think that's his music. And he's the one where his face turns into a fist and punches you in yours. Your face, that is, if you get too close to him. He's the only one I've defeated. It takes a lot of bullets. We don't have them, unfortunately. The town, we need hollow points. The town is not immediately improved, any more than a flood zone would be simply because the rain has stopped. But my contribution is made. Time to move on. We'll heal. Okay, that was a misclick, and now we go ahead and drive. Dinmouth. I am brought to the problematic area and told that payment will be made once the problem is dealt with. I don't think the locals fully understand what kind of presence is in their town, but they showed much relief and gratitude as I made my way inside. Oh man, alright, well, it's a large creature. Help! I've been imprisoned by the cult of Ktoth. They locked me in a filthy oubliette. I can hear them cursing some enemy god, chanting, Batai. I think they're killing people up there. Koth is an enemy of the god identified by the BTI rune. I see you. We can kill you. Hopefully without taking damage. Oh! There's a corpse here. They died with the limbs drawn up and their hands covering their face, desperately trying to block out the nightmare around them, fear. Unfortunately, I can't search the corpse, so I'm gonna hope it didn't leave anything behind. So we have fear here somewhere. So we have pain and fear. It's useful in so much that later on, when you see the cultists in particular, if you can identify what aspect the god has, then you can see what color the cultists have and make that link. I found a set of keys. These should make exploration easier. Nothing but an old shoulder stock. But maybe it could prove useful. It will prove useful. The carving dates back to at least 6000 BC and depicts Nyx defeating and casting out the figure labeled the God of Pain. It appears to have been intended as an insult to a rival faith. Nyx is an enemy of the God of Pain. We have enough information to mark its name down, but that's really it. Nyx and Kathoth are here. Like, if Pain is BTI, Nyx shouldn't be on this row, but I'm just using this right now to track some information that we know. The animosity is rooted in the suffering reported endured by worshipper of Kathoth while captured by the cult of Nyx. Nyx worshippers seem to tell the story the other way around. Now that's interesting. Koth is the enemy of Nyx. Koth is an enemy of the goddess. But all this could mean is that the invading god has an ally, but the god standing against the invading one, the invading god's enemy, is also, I believe, an enemy of the allied god too, I think. So I'm not willing to do that yet, to make that Actually, we do know a few things, I suppose, so let's go back to the table. Nyx is not the invading god. Not invader. Nyx is an enemy of the god of Pain. So Pain can be down here. We have fear. That might not be Nyx's aspect, but we'll put it there at the moment. And Kathoth is an enemy of the god identified by the BTI rune. So we know BTI is here somewhere. Not invader. That could be the ally though. So that I'll click on. That's all I know at the moment, for sure. I mean, until we get the Bashford ritual, all the guessing I do really is just frivolous. Alright. That'll be where it is. Oh, it's a tree. So we can't hurt the tree itself. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, you meant to note we can't run into those things either. Man, we just don't do enough damage. We have to destroy the fruits. It's not enough to whack it once. Man, very rarely have I fought that creature. I mentioned earlier that we wouldn't get much research, but there we go. There's some for that one. The battle turned instantly upon the invocation of Eukishum. Some of the enemies spat up blood, some writhed in pain, some simply dropped. Their conditions only had one thing in common. They all died. We get a spell for our efforts there. What's happening to us? Okay. No hunter. The more I chanted Q's U Batai, the more my mind expanded. I saw to the edge of the world, and into the hearts of everyone around me. I saw what was to come, and that's why, Sarah, that's why you found me like this. Tell the kids I'm sorry. That's clairvoyance that we just learned. I hate you. And we got the snot properly kicked out of us. Oh, almost took another hit. We might still take a hit. Mostly garbage, but there's a piece of sturdy wire I could probably use to twist into a lockpick. Yes. The people waiting for me outside seem determined not to ask questions. Upon my assurance that the problem is resolved, they pay without quibble. I wonder if this will be the last time I visit this town. The town is calm and peaceful, oblivious of the shadow. My heart feels pained and heavy as I confronted by what we stand to lose if I fail my mission. Return to the car. I want to heal first. We're probably buying a new med kit. Yeah, 50%. We can buy a new med kit while we're here. So we enter the town. I found a small walk-in clinic for homeless people that will treat me. A proper hospital would be unthinkable, so we've refilled the med kit. Back to the town. Let's find supplies. After an hour, I found the following items on sale from an individual content not to ask questions. 4 points for a hollow. $4 for hollow points. I'll buy the flashlight, mostly because of if we get the random event, I'll want it on me. And we'll buy some hollow points. Let's buy 3. 1, 2, 3. Return to the car. Another text of Ministry of Occultism. The Shadow has a definite foothold in Stonesbury and is going to make its move soon. You don't have to help out, but these things escalate quickly. Alright. That's kind of far away. We give up these towns by going eventually down there, but I think we will. Let's go to Hobbleton first, then Stonesbury, and we'll call the session at that point. I will do the opposite this time around and ignore family member texts, but I will answer anonymous texts. Hobbleton's held by the shadow. In we go. My hair stands on end and I feel a scratching at the back of my mind, all of which indicates the presence of magical energy. It must have leaked through in great amounts from the outlying realms. Magic bleeds through our realm through rifts, and the concentration of it here means there must be one nearby. Fortunately, what can be opened, by the same corrosive energies, can be closed. Isolating the rough location of the rift was the easy part. Just isolate the strands of magical energy, the appearances of otherworldly creatures, then triangulate the point they are all moving away from. One brief touch of a particularly active ley line indicates an unassuming brick building, part of an ancient terrace and condemned houses. When I opened the door to enter, the blast of escaping magical energy almost throws me off my feet. Okay, so this says, so maybe there is no seal here. We'll just go, if we bump into the rift, we'll just try shutting it. I have found a set of keys. Finding those quickly is nice. So I won't be tempted to use lockpicks early. Dented old cash box here, containing £3. There's something in that room. We might as well search the room then while we're here. Please! Please click! Please click on the monster! I think what's going on there is I'm on the doorway, and right click suddenly doesn't work when you're in an entryway. That's stupid. That's stupid, but there you have it. 3 unfired hollow point rounds. Very good. The walls of the cave were absolutely covered in the rune commonly pronounced as Ang, each one daubed on in a chocolate yellow paint by what I sincerely hope were human fingers. Ang is here, which we already knew, and it's yellow, so we'll leave that there, and I can take this off now. It might not be pain, though, but well, at least we know this is true. I won't mark it down, though, since we're going to be cutting the recording soon. I will want to review my notes later when we go for Stonehenge in the next episode. We gotta go down. The BTI rune has been inscribed in the wall here in yellow, upside down. Okay, so we have a chance to recover some sanity. The symbol on the wall seemed to grow more distinct for a moment. We did not. We'll come back for that one. Whose place is this? Another victim of the shadow. They like curled up so clutching at themselves as if something was eating away at them from the inside. That should hint that pain is not... Yellow was drawn as an insult. So I don't think this is actually pain. This is something different. Maybe this is fear. The person whose realm we are investigating, who this was set up to help, this is a corpse of pain here, which means that the yellow symbol that was yellow was yellow was drawn for BTI though, Tim. It was not. It was a yellow BTI. No, that's still correct. That's still correct. We already know this place is pain. We don't need to examine that corpse. Oh, I hate this creature. Oh, it's only 2. If it was 3, I was going to cast actually the death spell, but we didn't need to do so. Okay, this is Ang BTI. Most of the engraving was too weathered to read the full banishment mantra, but the second syllable was most certainly the syllable Ang. Unless there's anything more loot to be found. Alright, and there is some loot to be found, but it's on our way. The ghost is here. Let's use our mass death spell here. Oh, wow, okay, great. Alright, so that doesn't work. Alright, that's fantastic. That's wonderful. Doesn't work. Great. Well, what a horrific, what a loss of sanity that was, Ben Croshaw. Can you make your spell work, please? This is why I don't cast spells very often, viewer. All you lose a lot of sanity and nothing happens. Oh, that sucks. Return to the car. The town is not immediately improved any more than a flood zone would be simply because the rain has stopped. My contribution is made. Time to move on. Screw you, game. If I could cheat, I would give myself back the, what was it, like 15 stamina or something that cost? Stupid. Alright. Well, let's keep going. I found myself lost in a suburb over which a considerable pall hangs. I can feel terrible things lurking in the dark corners and alleyways, waiting for an opportunity, but against all odds I found a garage owned by an untainted man. Once convinced of my humanity, he proudly shows me a modified all-terrain vehicle in which he intends to escape the possessed town. The souped-up engine roars deafeningly. It's too dangerous to stay, but the noise would surely attract me into the shadow. Advise him to go. I wish him luck, and the roar of his engine is audible for a full minute before finally fading from hearing. With nothing left for me, I also take my leave. I get back onto the motorway, unmolested. Perhaps that should tip me off. Drawn by a column of smoke, I find the man's souped-up car, heavily dented, lying on its side in a roadside ditch. The driver is nowhere to be found. Anxiously, I dig my fingernails into my palms. We have anxiety now. We've reached Stoneberry. We lost 10 more sanity. I am brought to a problem-like area, told that payment will be made once the problem is dealt with. I don't think the locals fully understand what kind of presence is in their town, but they are grateful. Destroy a nest. This is going to be a bit tricky with anxiety bothering me. Our guide leaned close to the chest and then intoned the words Kizu, whereupon the lock sprung open with no apparent involvement to hand or tool. Get some water, please. I hate this one the most. I can never well, very rarely do I time all three. Absolute terror. Alright, we already know fear is an aspect. Sorry, Avira, I should be reading all the text, keeping it thematic and atmospheric. It's just stuff like what happened with that spell. It's just, it ruins the immersion for me because I feel it's a glitch. Let's die. Dusty Lucky Charm that isn't completely beyond salvage. What does that do? Increases loot. I'll take increased loot. The walls of the cave were absolutely covered in the rune commonly pronounced as Batai, each one daubed on in a chocolate white paint, by what I sincerely hope were human fingers. So Batai is white, but not necessarily associated with Nyx. Okay, we'll just leave all this here at the moment. The Kiz rune has been inscribed on the wall here in white, upside down. This means it's intended as a curse to the gods that associate with the rune. Kiz is not white, so this is an enemy of the BTI god. I think. As I invoked the rune, I felt a wave of answering energy from the wall. Get a little sanity? No, we got no sanity back. In language of the ancients, the syllable Kiz is usually given as a name, but has also variously been written to denote the concepts of love, lust, and sex. So we know pain and fear are here. We have enough information to make one of those, or maybe two of those links. Another one of these. BTI here in white. Screw you, game. Not give you any sanity back. Set of keys. Okay, it was a fake monster. This is where the nest is, Tim. You better move up a bit. Anxiety, Tim. Anxiety, Tim. More points are expensive. An old rosary. Half sanity loss? General sanity loss. I guess we'll use that instead of the stock. Why do I even try? Why? Screw you. Why do I try to time all this nonsense? Why do I try this? The resort was closed down after complaints from visitors that the world-famous anti-anxiety treatment, consisting chiefly of the chanting the words Shinbatai, was causing headaches and strange nightmares. These cards have skateboarder pads. That will stop us from getting broken bones. We'll take that instead of our flashlight. I hate this creature. Escape dungeon. Let's just warp. The people waiting for me outside seem determined not to ask questions. Upon my assurance that the problem is resolved, they pay without quibble. I wonder if this will be the last time I visit this town. Okay, we don't care. We're going back to the car. We're going to heal ourselves. Because we need another med kit already. Yes. Come on. Kill myself. Fight it off. And we get to recover no sanity! What? Oh, 1 second, viewer. Okay, I feel better. I only got 2 points of sanity back. I cursed for a little bit. Alright, let's, if I see... So we're getting to kill myself because our sanity's rather low. There's always a chance when you click on this. Yep, you can recover some sanity. We got 2 more back. Can we kill ourselves again? Or not kill ourselves again? Okay, no more. Alright, this is the hospital then. There was a discredited doctor operating a backstreet surgery here. They will heal me without questions as long as I have the cash. Refill the med kit. Buy some illegal drugs, because I can tell we're going to need those. Back to the town. Find supplies. After an hour, I have found the following items for sale from individuals content not to ask questions. We already have the shoulder stock, so we don't need that. Hull points are a little cheaper, but we don't need too many. We'll buy 2. And then back to the car. Alright, viewer, that'll do it for us. Thank you guys for watching. So we successfully did 1 banishment, and we're off to a good start. Worse start than the last one, thanks to all the sanity loss, but otherwise not so bad. We've got quite a bit of information, and well, I don't think yet enough to figure out who the invader is. Though we know all the runes in play. So that will help us make a guess for the banishment ritual, if we have to make a guess when we reach Stonehenge. Alright, and I'm babbling. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.